Hey everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we're going to talk about the critical test task. Let's talk about why do we need that. As I said in the last video, we don't want them to be flaky. So I know I put it last here, but it's about the flakiness. If someone would just be your employee for 2 weeks and disappear, it means that you want to test them before they even start working for you. Because if they are going to disappear before they start working for you, more power for them, because okay, they left your life. But if, for example, you started the hiring process, you gave them tasks for 2 weeks, and then they became flaky and disappear, and they just lie to you that they do that because that's the nature, and you want to find that nature in the critical task. You want to find if they are flaky, if they are going to disappear on you or not. Now, another reason is to see their English level. We still want to check their English level. We want to check the quality of their work. So if, for example, before they gave you some samples of their work, maybe they could have faked it. They could just tell you, okay, I made these logos. But actually those logos are not really theirs. It's not their work. It's someone else's work. And it took them 3 days to do it. And it's a task that could easily be done in 5 hours or something like that. So you can see that they're not so punctual and not on time. You want them to be on time. You want them to finish it fast. 1 day, 2 days max. But I would stay with people that are on the 1 day period, because that means they're more likely to be a superstar. Now here are some example tasks. So if it's someone that you want to hire for article writing, or writing your email swipes in your autoresponder, then you give them that as a task. You tell them, okay, I want you to write me a 750 words article about this subject. And you test him. You test how long it took him. You test what was the English level like. You test if he passed Copyscape. For those of you who don't know what is Copyscape, that's a system that checks if the content is unique. Maybe your future employee is lying and he's not really giving you authentic content. He just copy-pasted it from some other people and that's it. If it's email swipes, and then you see how fast it took him to do it, and you check the quality. Now, if it's someone who is going to be working on your technical side of business, you would tell him, okay, set up a WordPress blog in this address, and just leave him to it. Tell him, okay, this is the website, let's say doublesuccess.com. I want you to put a WordPress blog on it. Now, of course, database, you don't have anything. So you want him to be stuck. You want him to be in that point that he's in the dark. And you would test him, because some people will just disappear after that. They will say, okay, I don't know how to put this blog in Double Success. But other people will say, okay, sir, but actually I don't have the FTP access, and I don't have any database to connect it to. So can you please give me your like a login details? And you would know that this one is more responsive. And then after you give him the details, you check how fast it took him to do it. If you are in this internet marketing world for long enough time, you know that setting up a WordPress blog can take a few minutes. So you can test him for what does he do extra. Let's say and if he does, you hire him. If he doesn't, he's not that. You must pay for this task. So if you tell someone to write for you article for 750 words, you need to tell him, I'm going to give you this task and I'm going to pay you for a day of work. So if our agreed salary was $200, I'm going to pay you $9.5 once you deliver that article for me. And he will really think, okay, good, this guy is gonna pay me. Because as I mentioned before, if you don't pay them for the first critical task, they will just disappear on you. They will just After 2 weeks, they would feel really pressured, like, okay, I don't see any money, I'm working and working and working, and there's no money coming in, and they would not be so good as opposed to if you would pay them for its first critical task. It would create really good energy. They will be happy to look forward for the full salary of the whole month. So yeah, they made only $9.5 and you sent it to them via PayPal, for example. After that, come the end of the month, they know that they can count on you to pay them the rest of the money. But other people would continue looking for jobs. If you didn't give them this money in the initial task, they would, and after 2 weeks, they will disappear on you, and they will payment for 2 weeks, but they will just find another job of someone who paid them. Now let's get back to our topic. And you can see his quality. Of course, you need to see that they can handle it, and maybe you will say, no, 4 is too much, and what do you mean, 1 day 4 logos? And then you'll know that it's not a superstar, because a superstar can fulfill even as much as 20 logos in 1 day, if you ask me. I mean, of course, you shouldn't pressure people, because their creative mind won't work. That's why I gave an example of 4 logos, because it's really achievable. But just so you know that people can do much more. Now, if you're gonna hire someone just to transcribe stuff that you write, or maybe transcribe some videos that you look in online, you can give him a task and tell him, okay, please transcribe 3 seconds of video recording. And you give him the video recording, and he's going to transcribe it. And you'll check how good he is, and how does he understand your English or the other person's English that you hire him to transcribe of. Because some people will just not be good enough. They would miss words, they would miss some really important parts of the script. So still, you have to work on that. I'm not saying that everybody is perfect, so maybe if they're not perfect, what you end up doing is you're gonna go and tell them, okay, please fix that part because it's not clear enough. I don't understand what you wrote there because it doesn't make sense. And you'll check them. And of course, in the end, you will pay them for their day of work. Now, what are good measurements when it comes to the critical task? The first one is speed. I always want them to complete it within a day or less because I want to have more time for rejects. Let's say it's not good enough. I want to have time to tell them, this is not good enough, I want you to change a little bit. So if it's like 5 hours, it's really optimal. People will give you results within 5 hours and tell you, okay, this is the article, sir, I'm going to give you this. And of course, you would either tell them to change it because it's not good, or you'll tell them, okay, great. The second aspect is accuracy, how accurate the results are. So if you ask for something in specific, you want to know that they understand you. You want to see seeing if, let's say that you told them to write an article about a specific weight loss pill, and they wrote it about something else, or maybe they wrote it about weight loss at all, and just mentioned the pill in one sentence, like only once. So maybe it's not accurate enough for you, and it's not what you expected. You wanted them to do more of a research about that specific pill, and they didn't. So it's not so accurate. You can tell them to fix it, or you can just tell them it's not good enough, sorry, but I'll pay you, but I'm not gonna hire you. And of course, the communication. You need to check that they're always in communication with you, they're not running away. As I said before, some of them will run away. They will say, okay, I don't know how to set up this WordPress blog. Okay, he didn't give me any detail. I'm afraid to ask him, maybe he don't understand that he needs to give me the FTP, and they will just disappear. So you want to check that you have a line of communication with them, and that you're really communicating really well with them. Now, after you finish this critical task and you pay them for that day of work, because as you know, they worked for you, so you should pay, just like in the mini hiring. And as I said, you should pay for a day's work, even if it's only one article that in Fiverr would cost you $5, you still pay them for the day's work. So if they worked, like the monthly salary is $200, you would pay them $9.5 just for that day. This is going to create a goodwill, and you will really feel good about doing that, actually. Because sometimes people can work for free and you feel like you're just using them, and I don't like to get stuff for free if it's actually end up humiliating other people. So if, for example, I just told people this is the critical task and I used them, I just took the article and ran away and didn't pay them for that day, it's not something I want to do. I want to create more of a positive karma in the world and really help people out. So after you finished with the critical task, what you do is you start talking to them, either on Skype or maybe some instant messaging. You can do it with voice or not. And you can really see if they communicate well, if they are on time. Let's say you told them be there in 2 p.m. This and this time zone. If they are on time, you know that they are really more prone to be a superstar. People that are on time, people that really, if they are not on time, maybe they can send you a message and tell you, look, my internet was down, all of my village in the Philippines was, the power was cut by this storm. They always have these crazy stories. So maybe they will tell you that, and you can check on that. You can check on the region and check if they had this storm or not, and believe them or not. But actually, most of the times it is true. They do have something going on, and they have this power outage. So if they cannot be on time, it might be not out of their fault, like nature's fault. But if there wasn't anything and there was no specific reason why they are like 1 hour late, then that's not a superstar quality, and I wouldn't hire this kind of person, even though he completed the critical task, because he failed in the end, in the delivery. So that's it about the critical task. I hope you understand why this is so important, and why I highly recommend you to always give them a critical task and really check them before you hire. In the next video, we're going to talk about hiring documents and how to really actually start hiring those people that you interviewed and you questioned and you gave a critical task, and gone through hell talking to them and hiring them. We'll give you the documents. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.